Built versus bought is one of drag racing's oldest arguments, and both sides have been hiding part of the truth. This is the fastest lie in America. Every car has a story. Every racer has a claim. Every legend has a lie. An old Chevrolet C10 against a 700 horsepower Hellcat. The lights drop. The truck wins. And what's hiding underneath tells a story neither side wants you to hear. In drag racing, raw power gets the headlines, but it is also a massive distraction. A 1,000 horsepower engine means nothing if the rest of the car cannot support it. To survive a quarter-mile run, power must travel through an unbroken mechanical chain: the engine, transmission, rear end, suspension, and tires. If a single link fails, that massive power translates to nothing but tire smoke, broken gear teeth, or a cracked transmission case. This mechanical reality explains why a balanced 700 horsepower factory machine can easily defeat a poorly matched 1,000 horsepower custom build on the track. Gearing, traction, and suspension geometry dictate the outcome, far more than a simple dyno sheet. The built crowd claims their speed comes from pure backyard grit. Yet, look closely at today's fastest homegrown racers, and that purist narrative begins to splinter. The truth is, many supposedly home-built cars rely heavily on purchased assemblies, professional chassis fabrication, and outsourced engine tuning. They are less about raw fabrication and more about the strategic assembly of highly engineered parts. Meanwhile, modern manufacturers have closed the gap, engineering factory cars with drag-specific radial tires, specialized launch control systems, and integrated drivetrains built specifically to hook and go. This is the heart of the built versus bought divide. So how did the truck actually beat the Hellcat? We kept looking. A showroom-fresh Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat puts 707 horsepower under the driver's right foot. On paper, it runs an 11-second flat quarter-mile on street tires, dropping to 10.8 seconds on drag radials. But rolling up to the staging lanes in a turnkey machine is not a guaranteed victory. Here at Shift, the reality of factory performance shows that a driver must work just as hard to extract that speed. Unlocking a clean run requires split-second decisions. A driver must manage launch RPM, monitor engine heat levels, and adapt to the track surface. Experienced racers know that ambient temperatures and changing lane prep can swing a lapse times by up to 0.8 seconds on any given day. Success comes down to micro adjustments in the staging lanes. Dropping rear tire pressure from 32 down to 28 pounds per square inch can shave nearly half a second off the launch. Without driver input, all that computer-controlled power turns into a cloud of useless tire smoke. Controlling clutch release, modulating the throttle, and reacting to the green light in under a tenth of a second still determine who wins. Even with active launch control systems, the human element decides whether a run is a triumph or a failure. A factory car changes what skill looks like rather than removing it. This rivalry did not start in modern staging lanes. The team at Shift traces this tension back to its roots, when getting fast meant getting dirty. Post-war hot rodders stripped heavy fenders off old Fords in dusty garages because Detroit did not sell drag-ready machines. Wally Parks organized the chaos in 1951 by founding the National Hot Rod Association, NHRA, setting the standard for track safety. Then, builders like Don Garlitz revolutionized the sport with the rear-engine dragster. This homegrown innovation forced factories to respond. Detroit entered the horsepower wars with factory drag packages like Chevrolet's Copo Camaro. A continuous loop was born. Builders pushed limits. Factories standardized those breakthroughs for the showroom, and builders adapted to go even faster. This is where the story gets expensive. The phrase budget build usually only accounts for the initial purchase price of a donor vehicle and the highly visible parts bolted onto the engine. It routinely omits the actual cost of speed, the specialty shop tools, professional dyno tuning, custom wiring, fuel system upgrades, and trailers. It hides the cost of failed engine combinations, cracked transmission cases, and the years of labor spent in the garage. A weathered Chevy C10 that looks like a cheap farm truck can easily hide more money in chassis reinforcement, custom fabrication, and safety cages than the factory sports car sitting in the next lane. The exact same selective accounting applies to the word stock. On the drag strip, stock has become a storytelling tool rather than a factual description. Racers use phrases like stock appearing, factory long block, or stock bottom end to protect their egos and downplay their performance. In reality, a factory car labeled as stock is often running hidden software tunes, E85 fuel maps, aftermarket pulleys, modified exhaust systems, and soft compound drag radials. Some even hide extensive weight reduction, like stripped rear seats or carbon fiber panels. To find the truth, you have to look past the staging lane rumors. The real story is written on signed dyno sheets, ECU data logs, and itemized receipts. When you audit the actual documentation, the neat lines dividing built and bought completely disappear. Choosing to build is about chasing maximum, single-purpose performance. When you build a car from scratch, you gain total tuning freedom, a lighter chassis, and a vehicle designed for a specific racing class. You can strip out heavy luxury parts, completely ignore daily comfort, and focus entirely on suspension geometry and weight transfer. But this freedom carries major trade-offs. It demands specialized mechanical knowledge, constant garage hours, and relentless upkeep. Every pass risks a broken part, and the financial drain never truly ends. Buying fast offers a completely different reality. Purchasing a high-performance machine straight from the factory means acquiring a fully integrated system developed by a major automotive engineering team. You get immediate speed, repeatable quarter-mile passes, modern safety systems, and solid braking right out of the box. It is a car that delivers daily drivability, dealer support, and strong resale value. Of course, the moment you begin heavily modifying that factory car to chase quicker times, you slowly turn that bought machine into another custom build. The team at Shift knows that to understand how that old Chevy C10 ran down the modern Challenger Hellcat, we have to look past the surface and ask the questions that actually determine a race. Was it a race from a dead stop or a rolling start? Did they run a full quarter mile, or did the race end at the 8th mile mark? These variables change everything. A heavy Hellcat on stock street tires struggles to find traction off the line, while a lightweight truck on soft compound drag radials relies on custom suspension geometry to hook and launch immediately. Track conditions play a massive role too. A prepped track surface on a cool 60-degree evening can shave nearly a full second off an elapsed time compared to a dusty, hot asphalt strip. Then, examine what is hidden beneath the metal. What fuel was in the tank? Did the truck run a custom E85 tune while the Challenger sat on regular pump gas? How much seat time did each driver have? When you strip away the online hype, this matchup is not a simple verdict on whether built is better than bought. It is a lesson in execution. The truck did not win because a custom build is inherently superior to factory engineering. It won because on that specific day, on that specific surface, at that exact distance, one team prepared for the reality of the track, while the other relied on the assumptions of a brochure. In drag racing, preparation beats assumptions every single time. Today, the line between built and bought has completely blurred. Speed is now democratized, but the obsession remains deeply personal. At the end of the track, the clock never lies. Which path is yours? Let us know in the comments.